welcome to the Shutter Sports Refresh, the weekly show that breaks down all of the biggest news in sports. I'm your host, Lucky Roberts, back to you for the second week in a row, and let's get things started with some tennis action. This Open has been going down in tennis for the last couple of weeks, and now it's reached the round of 16. Here's what's gone down so far in the men's and women's sides. The men's side hasn't had too many major upsets, as the two big kings of the court are still in it, Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. They've ranked number 1 and 2 in the world and have won every Grand Slam tournament since the start of 2024. They've both moved into the quarterfinals and are the favorites to reach those finals. The biggest upset that we've had so far was number 3 seeded Alexander Zverev getting taken down in the third round by number 25 seed Felix Auger-Aliassime. Felix is advanced to the quarterfinals and will hope to give Sinner and Alcaraz a run for their money. Another low seed in the quarterfinals is Chechenian Jiri Lezchenko, fitted in as a 20th seed. This is the farthest he's ever made it in a Grand Slam tournament if he's able to continue his hot streak. Moving over to the women's side now, the top 2 seeds are still in it. Aryna Sabalenka and Iga Swiatek have been dominating their competitions, having lost just one set combined throughout the entire tournament. Definitely be a battle if they face off in the finals. Number 3 seed Coco Gauff was taken down in the round of 16 by 23 seed veteran Naomi Osaka. Osaka has had a career resurgence as of late, having reached the finals of the National Bank Open last month. See if she can continue this push in the upcoming days. This is the last Grand Slam in tennis of the year, and every player will no doubt be giving it their all. Moving on now, it's football season again. Let's recap some college football, which kicked off this week. The biggest game of week 1 was between Texas and reigning champions Ohio State. Texas came into this game with a freshman quarterback, Arch Manning, who has been very highly hyped up by the media. He unfortunately struggled in his debut against Ohio State's fantastic defense, and Ohio State took the game 14-7. Another big game was the 6th ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish facing off against the 10th ranked Miami Hurricanes. Notre Dame played against Ohio State in the championship game last year and came into this game trying to avenge themselves. They also have a freshman rookie quarterback. After starting the game down 14, Notre Dame fought back to tie things late up in the 4th quarter. It didn't matter in the end though, as Miami kicked a long field goal to snag the game 27-24. In a shocking upset, the 8 seed Alabama got taken down handedly by the unranked Florida State. Alabama was looked at by many experts as a contender to win it all this year, so the loss was definitely a shock. The only question is, did this game show how good Florida State is or how bad Alabama is? In some more football news, the NFL kicks off this week. The first game of the season is Thursday between the Dallas Cowboys and the reigning champion Philadelphia Eagles. The Cowboys recently traded their best player on defense, Micah Parsons, to the Packers, so they'll likely have a tough time taking down the Eagles on Thursday. On Friday night, Kansas City Chiefs take on the LA Chargers in Brazil. The Chiefs just took a humbling loss in the Super Bowl last year, so we'll see if they're able to come out with a vengeance in this one. The rest of the teams will play on Sunday and Monday. Stay tuned to the Refresh to hear about the results. Moving on to some F1 news now, as the Dutch Grand Prix went down on Sunday. The winner of this one was McLaren's Oscar Piastri. This was his 7th win of the year and now has grown his lead for first in the driver standings. In second race was Red Bull's Max Verstappen, and third was a surprising top finish by the Racing Bulls' Isaac Hadjar. This is his first podium ever, so congratulations to Hadjar on the performance. The next F1 race is the Italian Grand Prix on Sunday, so come back next week for the results of that. In some European soccer news, the transfer deadline day has come for the Premier League, and there's been a major move. Liverpool have acquired striker Alexander Isak for a record British signing of £125 million from fellow Premier League team Newcastle. The deal would be huge for Liverpool and Newcastle, specifically for Liverpool, who are coming off a Premier League win last season and are currently first in the standings this year through a couple of weeks. Second in the league in goals last season, only behind his new teammate Mo Salah. The striker duo is going to be absolutely lethal this season. For our last piece of sports news this week, let's quickly run through the MLB playoff picture as we creep closer to playoff time. Remember, the leader in each division is guaranteed a playoff spot, and there's 3 non-division winners with the best records sneak in as wildcard teams. Here's a breakdown of how the standings are currently looking. In the American League, the Blue Jays are still on top of the AL East. Just behind them are the New York Yankees. In the AL Central, It's the Detroit Tigers on top by a margin of 10 games, but securing them a playoff spot. In the AL West, it's the Astros in the lead, but are closely followed behind by the Seattle Mariners. As for the wildcard spots in the American League right now, the Yankees, Mariners, and Boston Red Sox have those spots secured. The Royals and Texas Rangers are also in fighting range. Moving into the National League, the Philadelphia Phillies are leading the NL East by another 6-game margin. Milwaukee Brewers are still the best team in the MLB and continue to be hot, having 85 wins with a decent lead over the Chicago Cubs for the NL Central. And in the NL West, it's the LA Dodgers and Padres battling it out. Right now, the Dodgers have the lead, but things are quite close. Things stand in the NL wildcard picture. The Padres, Cubs, and New York Mets are holding those spots. The only team that's close to breaking one of those right now are the Cincinnati Reds. That's it for this week's episode of the Shutter Sports Refresh. I've been your host, Lucky Roberts, and I hope you learned something today. You can check me, Shutter Sports Media, and the writer for this week's episode, Finn Noel, on Instagram right here. Thanks for watching.